This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
"6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Lal Mallavarachi, assisted by Sanjaya, and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. Travel restrictions will be imposed island-wide from 11 p.m. today. 3,441 persons have tested positive for the coronavirus, increasing the total caseload to 154,784. Health professionals say, to control the rapid spread of the pandemic, the best action to take at present is to lock down the country. The Colombo Port City Economic Commission draft bill passed with amendments with a majority of 91 votes. The handbook for university admissions for the 2020 advanced level batch will be released today. President Biden confirms Israel-Gaza ceasefire. Travel restrictions will be imposed island-wide from 11 p.m. today to 4 a.m. on Tuesday. Travel restrictions will be imposed again at 11 p.m. on Tuesday, covering the entire island. It will be removed at 4 a.m. on the 28th, Friday. Only persons leaving for essential duty can leave their homes during this time. The public will not be able to leave their homes during this period according to the last digit of their national identity card number. Meanwhile, all economic centres will be closed from tomorrow to the 24th Monday. On the 25th at 4 a.m, all economic centres and the Palagoda Manning Market are scheduled to open. Thereafter, all economic centres will be closed from the 26th Wednesday to the 28th Friday. The main office and the regional officers of the Department of Immigration and Emigration will be closed from today until further notice. The Ministry of Health reports that another 3,441 persons have tested positive for the coronavirus yesterday. This brings the total number of COVID-19 cases confirmed in the country thus far to 154,784. Presently, 30,201 infected patients are being treated at hospitals and treatment centres across the island. Meanwhile, the number of total recoveries has reached 123,532. The total number of deaths due to COVID-19 in Sri Lanka has risen to 1,051. The President of the Sri Lanka Medical Association, Dr. Padma Shriyani Gunaratne, says that to control the rapid spread of the pandemic, the best action to take at present is to lock down the country for at least 2 weeks. She added that the Sinopharm vaccine took 6 weeks to be effective and it did not provide an immediate solution to the current health emergency. With AstraZeneca, there is some protection after 2 weeks, but you need the second dose. However, Sinopharm doesn't work like that. You are given a second dose in 4 weeks after the first jab. Protection kicks in 2 weeks after the second jab. Even if we vaccinate all Sri Lankans this week, it will take 6 weeks for the vaccinations to start working, she said. Dr. Gunaratne said that vaccines play a vital role in the fight against the virus in the long term, but the government needs to go in for a lockdown to get the situation under control, she said. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Now, EPF information and services through an SMS from HDFC Bank.
The committee staged reading of the Colombo Port City Economic Commission draft bill has been passed with amendments in Parliament with a majority of 91 votes. The third reading of the bill was passed with 149 parliamentarians voting in favour and 58 voting against the bill. After presenting the amendments, Justice Minister Ali Sabri moved the Port City Bill for the third reading and JVP MP Vijitha Herath called for a division for the third reading of the bill. During the second reading, the government presented the bill with amendments at the Committee of the Whole Parliament. The amendments proposed by the opposition were rejected by the government. The opposition asked for a number of clauses to be recorded as opposed by the opposition during the committee stage. All political parties affiliated with the government have supported the draft bill during the vote, while members of the Samagi Jana Balavege, the National People's Power and the Tamil National Alliance opposed it. The Railway Department says that trains will not be operated on Saturday and Sunday. Once again, the Railway Department says that trains will not be operated on Saturday and Sunday. The Deputy General Manager Gamini Seneviratna said that trains will operate until 11 p.m. today as usual. All ambulances driven on the expressways have been released from payment from yesterday until further notice. Minister Johnston Fernando said that the ministry's secretary would be given the necessary instructions. Only the President and the Prime Minister can travel free of charge on the expressways. The minister said the decision was taken considering the pandemic situation in the country at present. That's local news.
දැන් HDFC බැංකුවෙන් EPF ණයතොරතුරු හා සේවාවන් SMS එකකින්
රාජ්‍ය හා පෞද්ගලිකංශයේ රැකියාවේ නියුතු ඔබ කොහේ සිටියත් EPF ණයතොරතුරු හා සේවාවන් ලබා ගැනීම සඳහා කළ යුත්තේ EPF හිස්තැනක් නම හා ප්‍රදේශය සඳහන් කර 071 8 800 999ට SMS එකක් එවීම පමණයි.
HDFC බැංකුව ඔබ අප සුරකින්න බැංකුව.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
The chairman of the University Grants Commission, Senior Professor Sampath Amaratunga, said the handbook for university admissions for the 2020 advanced level batch will be released today. The chairman said that 3 weeks will be provided to forward applications. Applications will close at midnight on June 11th. Senior Professor Amaratunga said that 41,755 students will be enrolled in universities, which will be the highest intake so far. Addressing a media conference yesterday at the Government Information Department, he said that the applications must be submitted both via email and post. He said that the application must be sent to the email address apply2020@ugc.ac.lk. That's apply2020@ugc.ac.lk. The application form, which is submitted online, must also be downloaded and sent via post. Before completing the application, it is necessary to confirm that the email address that the student uses is active.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watchlight, the villagers in the LPT area point out that some government schools that have been closed for a long time can be used as COVID treatment intermediate centres. The Sivali Mahavidyalaya in Avittava and the primary school at Manana are the most suitable two schools. This is for the attention of the governor of the southern province. That came to you in Watchlight, and now in world news headlines. President Biden confirms Israel-Gaza ceasefire. Call to declare black fungus epidemic in Indian states. Russia flexes muscles in challenge for Arctic control. A ceasefire between Israel and the Palestinian militant group Hamas has started. The ceasefire came into effect early today, bringing an end to 11 days of bombardment in which more than 240 people have died, mostly in Gaza. Meanwhile, President Biden confirms Israel-Gaza ceasefires. Speaking from the White House, President Biden commended Israel for the ceasefire. He added that America backed Israel to defend itself against terrorist groups. He said his administration would help ensure that the Iron Dome system would be replenished for the future. India's states should declare an epidemic following a rise in deadly black fungus cases, the country's health authorities have said. The normally rare infection called mucormycosis has a mortality rate of 50%, with some only saved by removing an eye or jawbone. But in recent months, India saw thousands of cases affecting recovered and recovering COVID-19 patients. Doctors suspect there may be a link with the steroids used to treat COVID-19. The Russian military cargo plane flew us almost to the top of the world, an archipelago once best known for its rare bird species and its walruses. Now Franz Josef Land is home to a Russian military base and the source of added tension in relations with the West. The US has once again accused Moscow of militarizing the Arctic, and the head of Russia's Northern Fleet has told the BBC that NATO and US military activity in the region is definitely provocative and on a scale not seen since World War II. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. President Biden confirms Israel-Gaza ceasefire. Call to declare black fungus epidemic in Indian states. Russia flexes muscles in challenge for Arctic control. That was World News, and now in development news, the Chief Government Whip Highways Minister Johnston Fernando said a project to ease traffic congestions in Colombo by widening and developing 9 arterial roads coming to the capital Colombo will commence. Speaking to the media at his ministry, the minister said congestion on main roads in the capital is actually caused mainly by the traffic at intersections. He said that the traffic problem in 9 main roads have been identified as one of the main reasons for the loss of national wealth in billions of rupees annually. That was development news.
Sports News is brought to you by...
When Aya bought a motorbike, he bought 2 helmets. So sweet of him. I'm sure the other one is for me.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
The remaining 20 matches of the Pakistan Super League will take place in the United Arab Emirates when the tournament resumes in June. The 2020 event was halted in March after 7 cases of the coronavirus were reported within the competition bubble. It was set to resume in Karachi but will now take place in Abu Dhabi after the Pakistani Cricket Board were granted an exemption. The PSL will restart on the 1st of June with the finals on the 20th of June.
My wife always sets a full lunch table even if it's just the 2 of us. She always expects people to drop by, like maybe the army.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
NDB was recently awarded the title of Best Domestic Bank Sri Lanka 2021 by the Global Business Review Magazine Awards UAE as well as the World Business Outlook Singapore. Keeping in line with the bank's well-known excellence in retail banking and investor relations, NDB was also felicitated with the Best Retail Bank together with the Best Corporate Bank and the Best Investor Relations Bank Awards by the Global Business Review Magazine Awards 2021 UAE. NDB Bank was also awarded the title of the Best Mobile Banking App Sri Lanka 2021 for NDB's NEOS app because in spite of the increasing competition in the digital banking sphere, the bank has continued to go beyond implementing new technology and digitally savvy offerings for consumers by standing at the forefront of digitalization.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
And now in economic news, Sri Lanka's export performance continued its upward momentum in the first 3 months of 2021. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic-induced lockdown last year, exports were contracted by a record 64.63% in April 2020. However, in April this year, exports grew by 183% to $798.9 million in comparison to the previous year. This growth could be attributed to the gradual lifting of COVID-19 restrictions imposed within the country and globally. It must be noted that the year-on-year growth in April 2021 was largely due to the negative growth a year ago. That was economic news.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says the showery conditions over the southwestern part of the island and the windy conditions of the island is likely to enhance during the next few days. Showers, thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamu's central and northwestern provinces and in the Gala and Matara districts. Fairly heavy falls above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Gala, Matara and Puttalama districts. Showers, thundershowers will occur at a few places in the eastern and Uva provinces during the evening or night. The wind speeds can increase up to 40 to 50 kilometers per hour at times the western slopes, central hills, the northern, north central and northwestern provinces and in the Hambantara district.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
And now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. Travel restrictions will be imposed island-wide from 11 p.m. today. 3,441 persons have tested positive for the coronavirus, increasing the total caseload to 154,784. Health professionals say to control the rapid spread of the pandemic, the best action to take at present is to lock down the country. The Colombo Port City Economic Commission draft bill passed with amendments with a majority of 91 votes. The handbook for university admissions for the 2020 advanced level batch will be released today. President Biden confirms Israel-Gaza ceasefire. That concludes this news broadcast.